Hi, I'm Jay Ruane. I'm a criminal defense attorney in Connecticut. This is our series on the Fifth Amendment and police interrogations. If you want more information, please reach out to us at ruaneattorneys.com. The Reid Technique was named after John E. Reid and Associates, a Chicago-based company that specialized in training law enforcement officers in interrogation and interview techniques. The technique itself was developed by John Reid in the 1940s and 50s and was based on the premise that most people who commit crimes will unconsciously betray their guilt through certain verbal and nonverbal behaviors. Reid and his associates developed a systematic method for interrogating suspects, which they called the Reid Technique, that involves a structured series of steps designed to elicit a confession. Over time, the technique has been refined and expanded and is now widely used by law enforcement agencies across the U.S. and around the world. Today, the Reid Technique is considered one of the most widely used and influential interrogation methods, and it continues to be taught and used by law enforcement agencies for the purpose of investigating crimes and obtaining confessions. Regular people should be aware of the Reid Technique because it can sometimes result in false confessions due to the psychological pressure applied during the questioning process. The technique has been criticized for its potential to violate a suspect's rights and to elicit false confessions, particularly from vulnerable individuals such as minors and individuals with intellectual or mental disabilities. The Reid Technique consists of 9 steps, which are typically applied in a sequential manner during an interrogation. Number 1, fact analysis. Collecting and analyzing information about the crime and the suspect to determine the most likely scenario and the motives of the suspect. Fact analysis examples are reviewing the crime scene photos, interviewing witnesses, and examining the physical evidence. Number 2, behavior analysis. Observing the suspect's behavior to determine if they are lying or telling the truth. Behavior analysis examples could be observing the suspect's body language and looking for signs of deception. Number 3, development of a rapport. Building a relationship with the suspect by showing empathy and understanding is a key segment of the Reid Technique. Development of rapport examples could be complimenting the suspect on their honesty, offering them a drink or a cigarette, and listening to their perspective. Handling denials. Confronting the suspect with evidence and pushing back against their denials is another technique. Handling denials examples are presenting evidence and pointing out inconsistencies in the suspect's story. Number 5, overcoming objections. Overcoming the suspect's objections to confessing by addressing their concerns and fears. Some examples are addressing the suspect's fear of going to jail and offering them a more lenient sentence in exchange for a confession. Number 6, presenting an alternative question. Presenting the suspect with a choice between 2 alternatives, one of which leads to admitting guilt. Perhaps you can ask the suspect if they committed the crime or if someone else committed the crime and they were only present. That's a great example. Now, reinforcing the suspect's decision to confess by making them feel that it was their idea and the right thing to do is telling the suspect that confessing is always the right thing to do, and it shows that they have a conscience. People want to feel that they're doing the right thing. Another step is confronting the suspect with specific details of the crime to obtain a full and complete confession. Confronting the details may be asking the suspect to describe how they committed the crime and what their motives were. Next up, there's closure, wrapping up the interrogation by obtaining a written or recorded confession and ensuring that the suspect understands the consequences of their confession. This could be having them sign a written confession and make sure they understand what they're admitting to. If a regular person is subjected to the Reid Technique, it's recommended that they exercise their right to remain silent and request to speak to an attorney. And you have to be very specific. You should not feel obligated to answer any questions from the police, and you should avoid making any incriminating statements. It's so important to remember that anything you say can be used against you in court. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. If you or someone you love has been questioned by the police, please reach out. We can help. We're available 24/7, 365 at ruaneattorneys.com.